What if I told you that Claude, ChatGPT, and Cursor can now connect directly to your Notion workspace in real time with zero technical setup required? That has become possible with Notion's hosted MCP server, and while this works with all three, I'm focusing on Claude because it offers the best balance of capability and cost effectiveness for this type of workflow. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set this up, what you can actually do with it, and why this is a game changer for anyone using AI in their workflows. Let's dive right in. So to get started, I just wanted to first go over what is Notion MCP before we dive in. So MCP, or Model Context Protocol, is an open standard that lets AI assistants interact with your Notion workspace. So you can think of it as a way for example, ChatGPT, Claude, Cursor, they can all interact with your Notion workspace, like creating pages, looking through your workspace, and so on. So I think Notion's own website here explains it best. So Notion MCP is a hosted server that gives AI tools secure access to your Notion workspace. It's designed to work seamlessly with popular AI assistants like ChatGPT, Cursor, and Claude. So this diagram is really useful. Notion basically handles the MCP server and the public API, and then the MCP clients are things like ChatGPT, Claude, and Cursor. So you can basically have information going over to Notion and information from Notion being accessed by the MCP clients or that AI tool that you're using. So the reason why Notion MCP is really useful is that it's really easy to set up, especially now. So before there was a lot of technical setup required, but now you can really easily do it with a one-click installation for the tools that they support, which in this case is Claude. An everyday person who uses AI, this could just be an easier experience if you really want to connect your AI tools to Notion. It basically has full workspace access, so AI tools can read and write to your Notion pages just like you can, and it's optimized for AI, built specifically for AI agents with efficient data formatting. So some of the things that Notion says that you can do with Notion MCP is to create documentation, search and find answers, manage tasks, build reports, and plan campaigns. There's actually so much more you can do, and I'm really excited to also show you that throughout this video. Next, let's go over how to connect your Notion workspace to these AI tools. So to do that, you'll go to Settings, and then what you can do is go to Connections, and then you can click Notion MCP and click Explore. So now you can see all of the options. So you can either connect to ChatGPT Pro, you can connect to Claude, and in this case, Claude also needs to be the Pro account. And you can also connect to Cursor, and you can also use other AI tools, but these three make it the easiest and most seamless approach to this with zero technical things required. So I'm going to go ahead and click Connect to Claude. Once I click that open, it's going to go to Claude if I'm logged into Claude, and it shows me what kinds of things I can do. So basically searching, fetching, creating pages, updating pages, getting users, and so on. So now what I can do is just click Connect. And now it's going to ask me where I want to connect with. So I'm going to choose the workspace that I want to connect to, and then I'll click Continue. So now I can see successfully connected to Notion, and now I can just start using it. The first thing I would recommend you to try out is just searching through your workspace. This is the most basic thing you can use this kind of connection with Claude and your workspace. So I'm going to go ahead and ask it, what is in my Notion workspace right now? And I can click Enter, and it's going to start reading through my Notion workspace. And now it gave me an outline of what's included in my workspace, which can be really nice so that I can get an overview of a workspace, especially if you have a lot of pages. This could be a nice way to sort of search through it. So if I go to my workspace, you can see that it pretty much got everything right. I have all of these projects and tasks and docs inside of this workspace. The next thing I would recommend trying out is adding database pages. So this means that you can do things like add projects through Claude or even add new tasks through Claude. So let's say that I want to add an entry into my projects database that I have in my workspace, and I want that to be about website redesign. I don't need to have it add any tasks yet, just to add that new entry to my workspace. So now Claude is going to work at searching for that project's database. Then it's going to add a page to it for website design. So now we can even see what Claude did. So Claude first searched for projects database inside of my Notion. It found my projects database, and then it wanted to see its structure. And then after that, it created the page, website design project. And then after that, it added all of these properties for me already. And then it even gave me a link to the new project, which I can just click and open the link. So now what I can do is even ask it to add the related tasks to this particular project. So I'm going to ask it to add a task to this specific project in the task database to research website designs. And I'm going to hit enter. So now it's actually added that task for me in the projects database for the website design project. So again, you can follow the whole step by step, and then you can click the link to the task that it just created. And you can see research website designs, and it's connected to the website design project that I had here. So the next thing I wanted to showcase is that you can even have Claude add an entire database setup for you if you want to just tell it what you're looking for. So let's say that I'm create a book tracker with book database, author database, and make sure there are two-way relations in my Notion. And then I can hit enter, and it's going to start creating a book tracker template for me directly into my Notion workspace. Claude has now created a complete book tracking system with a main book tracker page, authors database, and even a books database with a relation. So this is what I think is really impressive with this Claude and Notion connection. It's just the fact that you can even do relations. So with Notion's own AI database creation, you can't have these kinds of relations created within Notion. But with this Claude, you can do something like this where you have your books and it's connected to the author. I can open up the author, and then I can even see the related books here. So everything is connected properly, which I think is going to speed up a lot of template creation as well if you're looking for that. And then it also created this kind of page of an overview of this book tracker for me so that I can see how to use it. So now that we have this template that Claude has created for me, I also wanted to touch on some limitations. So I tried a lot to try to get Claude to create sort of a dashboard setup that I really like in my Notion setups so that I can have linked views of my books, my authors on the front page. No matter how many times I tried, I couldn't get that to work. So I think that it's not possible to create linked view databases with this Claude and Notion connection. That being said, you can easily create it yourself once you have your books and your authors databases, and then add that to your own personal dashboard. But it's not at the point yet where I feel like I could just type out what I'm looking for and Claude would actually create every single thing that I want, including the synced blocks and more complex designs. But if I'm looking for all of the databases set up for me, I think Claude could actually be really useful for that process. As with Notion, it could be pretty manual to add all the properties and then adding all of the relations. So I think that this is also definitely worth a try. Thank you so much for watching. There's a lot more you can do with this Claude and Notion connection that I didn't get to, but I hope that this video was still useful. Let me know if you've tried this setup, and I hope to see you all in the next video.